Hi, everybody. We're back. We've got a really easy, laid-back podcast today. We're going to be talking about the quality of our silence. We are at a time in the astrology and where we are with everything on the rise and the solar flares and et cetera, et cetera. It's really, really, really important well, first of all, to have silence in every day, but not quiet, not just quiet and on the outside. We're talking about inner silence and the quality of the inner silence. Clementine, is there anything you want to add to that before we just dive in?
Yeah, I heard you say that it is an easy podcast, but perhaps the podcast is easy, but silence is for the most time something where so many
True.
people are running away from and um, um, and I can also imagine that there are so many people are completely sick of it, hearing it, that you have to be silent and that you have to stop with your brain, who is talking the whole day, every day, all kinds of things. Um, um, as, but at least that's the way I see it. What we want to do in this podcast is to give you some ideas how important this silence is, and that it's not necessary for everybody to, or let me say different, give yourself the space to learn it step by step by step. But silence is, I don't know if there is something more important than silence. When you are on the path of connecting with your inner self, connecting with energies surrounding you, connecting or even growing, um, um, energetic, growing, um, um, dealing with your emotions, all those things. The silent is such an important part for this, to do it good. Do you want to go further, Robin?
I do. I was just going to say, I would, and personally, I would take that even just a little bit step further. That silence for me is this: not speaking, not saying, not listening to stuff, not having things on. And I'm actually wanting to address even a little bit deeper than the silence. I would like to enter the stillness. And I would really like to give our listeners maybe a little way into the stillness instead of just silence. I'd like it to go maybe a little bit deeper. So hopefully by the time we're done, we'll be talking about the stillness within, and people will recognize the difference of what I'm trying to say between the stillness and the silence. This is the silence is how you get to the stillness, right? But sometimes we just stop what's on the surface and we think that's good enough, which is a great start. I'd like to see people being able to take that a little deeper. And as we're recording this podcast, we're, what are we, mid-July, and we've got I think it's 3 planets retrograde in July. Anytime you hear anything about people talking about planets going retrograde, by the way, it means it's addressing a certain aspect of the inner journey. There is something about whatever that planet represents that they're talking about. It means that aspect needs to have inner journey attention to it. So we've got 3, and Mercury is one. Everybody's familiar with Mercury. That's all the communication and such. So that's easy. So retrograde means inner searching. Since we've got 3 big planets, and it's going to last for a while too. That's why it's still pertinent for when this airs. So that retrograde period with those planets is back a little bit. We were talking about the important astrology that's coming up with Uranus in the nervous system and all of that kind of thing. So this will be right where we're making the transition from where I was advising it was a good time to plant seeds, and where this podcast airs is going to come out right at the point where it's going to be that slow down transition, where it's like time to stop planting and stop doing and stop having goals, and just allow what you've done to take root. And so this podcast will come out just on time, because that's the stillness. That's where you enter the stillness. And I'm just going to keep going from here because it's perfect, because you enter the stillness, and right in there, there has to be a trust. You learn to trust. And we live in cultures and societies where you have a goal, you have a 5-year plan, you have a 10-year plan, you have a 20-year plan, and you break that down into little chunks of doable goals, and you reach this goal, then you go to the next goal. You reach that goal. So it's all very linear, but life doesn't work that way. And especially with all the planets going retrograde, we're going to cycle. Everything's going to cycle. It's going to cycle back around to itself. And you'll when you get comfortable and find your inner stillness, then you'll feel the rhythm of those cycles. And I would like to say there's like a recipe of this planet is doing this, so this is what everybody is going to feel. It's not ever going to happen that way, because everybody came in to this planet through their own little portal called your astrology chart. You have a stamp of energy that everything in life happens is filtered through that energy portal. So it's not, yours doesn't look like mine. And so we've got the same energies to work with, but we're not going to do the same thing with it. So we need to find our own rhythm. We understand that life is a rhythm of cycles, and everybody's not going to experience that the same way. And if you spend time finding your stillness, recognizing when you're in that stillness, and then you'll see the pattern of the rhythm of life. And then when you observe it and you recognize it, and it's a not something like you put in place, but you've uncovered it. It's always been there. You've just been a little bit not in sync with it. So when you go into your stillness and you discover these rhythms and how they work in your own life, the trust in those rhythms are automatically there, because you will notice it's been working in your life all of your life. You just haven't recognized it, or haven't maybe consciously tapped into it to work with it in synchronicity. And so I think right now, as this is coming out, and we're in a, well, I call it like an earth pause. We're in an earth pause when this comes out. And it'll be really powerful time for us to synchronize our own inner pause with the earth pause. And it'll be really, really powerful place to allow what we've already done to take root. And at the same time, like, don't micromanage it, right? Right in that spot is where what you don't need, but you think you need, will go away, so that what you actually need will take stronger roots. And So if we are sitting in the stillness right there, that's going to be a really powerful time. So that's why we're doing this podcast, is to really encourage people to find your stillness, recognize your stillness, and then cultivate that stillness. It would be fantastic to create a 30-minute pause daily. And that sounds like a lot with our schedules, but it's necessary. Clementine.
Perhaps it's a good idea to give our or my what the difference between silence and stillness is. Silence is a lack of sounds, is a lack of your own voice, but also a lack of your thoughts. The voice of your brain is a lack of. Many people have always music on or always the television on, and so the outside has your own voice, but also the outside voices. Um, and they have to be silent. The more you live in this silence, the more your stress level goes down. Um, um, I'm talking also a little bit about the part when we were talking about the glands. So your stress level can come down and you come in a kind of more relaxed state. And then stillness is a state of being, is not stillness. Inner stillness does not have anything to do with sounds. In a sense, yes, but it's more in a way of being relaxed and letting happen what happens. Observe what's happening with you, with your surroundings. Uh, um, Robin was just talking about. She uses a different word, but she called cycles. I'm see it at this moment more as waves. So the what is happening in your life and what is happening. What I'm thinking right now is personally, I have lived a long time for many years in silence, and I was completely secluded from people. There was only Mother Earth, my dog, and myself. When I had a human contact, a short telephone once every 2 weeks, that was all. What I learned from that time is that the stillness in me made it possible that I could connect so much better with Mother Earth, with Pachamama, and with everything I get visuals. So also with this, that how it always felt that um, um, that our two different bodies, as if they became more as one. That it's not only that I became a part of her body, she became also a part of my body. It was two directional. Um, the when I'm speaking about it right now, I never realized it before, but I feel now very clearly that it's still, that it's, I'm talking about now 10 years ago that it happened. And I lived that way about for 3 years, that I was really secluded. I'm still living in the most of the time in silence. For me, also because I lived that long in silence, I cannot imagine to live in a normal world. But also, what it brought me also is that books, television, music. There is some music what I allow, but not all music. But some music by some artists, I can allow that. But everything what is coming from the outside world in is saying nothing about me. And I want to learn me. I don't want to learn what somebody who had some experience with something and how he or she handled that. It is their person's life, not mine. I want to learn me. And therefore I have first connect with me. I need to be silent. I need to be in that stillness that the real me can come to the surface. And I want to connect with, we call it our team, and our guides, spirit and cosmic guides. I need again stillness to be able to hear them or feel them, or there are many ways you can connect with them. So somebody else's experiences is it can help you a little bit go to make a step, but it doesn't help you to find who you really are, and therefore you need stillness, and you need nothing else, nothing from the outside world, only inside world, and therefore is silence such an important part. And I'm trying to find words how, because I lived so long in silence, and everything what happened, it had no words. So till the day of today, I have difficulties to describe everything what happened in those years I lived in complete silence. I even think that there are no ways to describe, no words to describe. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to do that, but what I'm trying to express is how enormous important it was for my life. I can only speak, of course, for me. How difficult it was also. It was not an easy time. Sometimes I ask myself, when I had this part of my life what was not easy and didn't have that stillness, I wouldn't come out as good as I came out. When I let my mind, when I let my emotions, when I let my monkey brain deal with that, I don't know. I don't think I would have been coming out that good. And Yeah, I'm still trying to find words, but at this moment I am in silence.
No,
So,
I really, I just want to just jump in on top of you because it's like, this is what I want to tell people is when you actually find your inner stillness, there won't be words. You can't bring it back out because it's only meant for you. It's your inner stillness, and that's the point. It's the inner sanctuary. It's only for you. And you won't be able to explain it to other people. And that's because it's for you. And they're really, quite honestly, I do not think that we have words for what you experience. I just don't think there's words for it. So you could try forever. I can't describe my inner stillness to anybody, and because I don't think theirs is going to be the same. Then they would be inside themselves looking for my inner stillness and they'd miss theirs. And so I really don't think there's words for it. And I think that to get there though, this is what people say to me all the time. Oh, I can't meditate. I can't, my thoughts never stop. Correct. That is correct. If you think you're going to sit down and stop your thoughts, good luck. You're not. It's just, first of all, they're not yours, right? It's in the field and they're all running through in and out all the time. That's what makes us happen. What you do though, is you develop the ability to watch them go by instead of spending time with each thought. You say, oh, there's another one, and you just let it go and you let it go. And sometimes, well, even now, but I was going to say sometimes in the beginning, when I was first like trying to sit in my stillness, I would spend 20 minutes just like, okay, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to sit still. And I sit down, I was like, oh, I need milk. Oh, I forgot to get the, oh, I got to do that tomorrow. And I was like, oh, thoughts. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to be still. And I would spend 20 minutes doing just that. And I was like, I would get done. I was like, oh, I'm not ever going to be able to find my stillness. But just understand the beginning will look very much like that. And don't get frustrated. Just go back tomorrow and give it another 20 minutes. And eventually you'll see that those little silent spaces start to grow. And it's not that you have less thoughts. You just let them fly through. You just don't grasp onto them. So if I can help anybody in that way of looking, because it seems so daunting to try to meditate if you're supposed to be stopping your thoughts and stilling your mind. I have Gemini rising. Oh, you're not going to still my mind ever. I am always having two conversations at the same time and the one in my head. So, it's like, I don't think I'll be stopping my thoughts anytime soon, but I can just watch them go by. I've gotten good at that.
I
And
call that
so I think maybe that might not be so intimidating. Yeah.
I call that puppy training. What Robin just so I trained my brain like a puppy. So when you have a young dog, you want to train it in a positive way. So you don't say something when it does something what you don't like, but you say, "Oh, you did it so good," when it does something what you asked or what you like. So you give it attention when it does something what is good, but you give it no attention when it does something what you don't like.
I was just thinking, what do we call that here? We call that something positive reinforcement.
Yes, but
Yes.
puppy, I like it more. I
like
with
puppy training much better.
I cannot make a picture from positive reinforcement. then I only see arrow signs. when I see puppy training, then I can make beautiful pictures. And I have had some dogs, so I have quite some experience with it also. So by making it a puppy training, I kept it positive. I didn't react on what we call negative. And because I kept it always positive, it was not hard anymore. I just, sometimes it felt like those young children that are constantly, mama, 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 and they want their attention. Yeah, sometimes your own brain sounds like that, but then it's on
True.
you to not react on it. And your brain is also smart. So your brain will do those things. But you have to be clear for yourself. I'm not going to react on it because that is a behavior that I don't want. Is it silent? Oh, you did it well. Okay. And Robin was talking about meditation. When I started, meditation was not a possibility. So I needed to move. And so I used the forest for it. And so I did a puppy training in the forest by the but sometimes I see people also having me time in the forest, and they running through the forest, and they are only looking outside. They're walking way too fast. They are doing exercise for,
Doing instead of being.
yes. And when you want to be silent, then you have to move slow also. You have to um, so try the thoughts of the brain and the words of the brain, not your concentration, your focus is not there. But ask, for instance, when you walk in the forest and you ask, can you give me a sign for whatever your question is? Or can you give me an answer and of a question? When I started doing this was even not that could even be a question on, oh, my computer is broke. How can I repair it? Uh, so what it made, that asking that question to the forest, my brain stopped finding all the ways how I could repair my computer. And I focused on what the forest was telling me. And at that time, I didn't hear words or something, but I was aware of winds, and I was aware of, oh, that's strange that bird all of a sudden was almost flying my nose off. And so because I was more connected already with the forest, because my focus was there, I started to becoming more and more silent. And it was so often that I was almost at the end of the forest, and I had a lot of signs, but it didn't make any sense for me what I had to do with that computer still. And I walk out of the forest and I knew what I had to do, and I could repair. What I'm also trying to say, don't ask too much already in the beginning. You take it step by step and day by day, and don't try to be Buddha when you start today for the first time. How many years was Buddha in nature? I don't know, 10, I think. Before he brought his way of thinking to the outside world. Yes, so give yourself time and don't make it a heavy thing. Be joyful, playful. Don't make it. Don't take yourself too seriously. Um, um, yeah, like puppy training. When you're always serious to your puppy, then it starts with not listening to you anymore. Robin?
Okay. I was going to say pretty much the same kind of thing. I really wanted to stress that less is more. In finding your stillness, less is more. Reduce, 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 reduce everything. Reduce the input, reduce the output, reduce the movement, reduce. And you'll enter into the stillness in that manner. Your inner world, when we speak of the inner world, I think is what most lay people will call psychology, the world of psychology. Inner world is all of your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, and how you process it, and what you hold on to, and what you let go, and how you hold on to it. And all of that is stored in your body, and then your body acts as the magnet that pulls your reality into existence around you. So slow everything down, spend time with those thoughts that reflect what you want to be in your outer world, and put more attention on those. And that's your outer reality will begin to reflect that. And if it's from your own point of stillness, then it's very authentically you, and you will get to grow into your newly created realities with a lot more harmony, because you didn't make yourself small. You didn't try to accommodate somebody else's wishes and visions. And it's authentically from you. And if you're doing as we advise, and you're being kind to yourself and gentle with yourself, you're taking baby steps, well, then it'll be easy for you to match the changes that you are manifesting in your life. And then there's a lot more harmony. And then as you get in the harmony and it starts coming around, then then more and more and more and more and more manifests. And it doesn't ever reach a point of being busy work or doing, because it came out of the stillness. So at the core, at the roots, it's from stillness, and it's from your inner core. So there isn't anything that can really knock you out of it. So whatever will be happening out here, you will, in that moment, be able to maintain your stillness, your quietness, your trust, and you won't be so rattled. And again, be gentle with yourself and take baby steps, and that's what creates the harmony. A lot of the harsh experiences, I think I'm trying to say here, is I think what people do is they set a goal, and then they try to reach that goal. And I see all these things on social media about raise your frequency, how to raise your frequency. You don't really want to do that, because if you just jump up and raise your frequencies, it is completely out of sync with everything around you. Do you know how harsh you're making your life? You just don't do that. You instead, when you go in the stillness, that's what raises your frequency naturally. You just become who you were, and everything around you stays in sync and falls into place. Whereas if I'm vibrating here and I'm trying to reach something here, that's just a short thing. But if I go, oh, I'm vibrating right here. I got to raise my frequency up here. Well, now this is a harsh experience trying to get those two things in tandem. So I don't recommend starting by raise my frequency and then everything will match. I think that's a harsh experience. And so baby steps, and look for what is changing. Look for it. That's what Clementine is saying. Like, the puppy training. Good job. So if you're taking baby steps, it's easy to miss what changed as well. So look for it. So when you can sit in your stillness and you feel your stillness, it's almost a tangible thing. And you just feel it like a little cloak. And then from there, you can look out into your world, and the world doesn't come back at you in such a manner where it knocks you off balance, or you are just the observer. Just like when you're in the stillness, you're just watching your thoughts go by. When you come out of the stillness and you re-engage in the outer world, you watch that go by too. And you maintain that, and as you practice every day, this little space that you maintain gets a little bit bigger and a little bit clearer and a little bit stronger every day, every time that you go into it. And then there's that you just reach a point where it's like, something is going on in your day, and you feel the fight or flight kick in, and you can recognize it, and you just immediately go into your stillness right there in the moment, and then you maintain strong, and then reality really starts to go your way. Yeah. Do you need to say
Um,
anything on that one?
yeah, I'm very happy that you start talking about raising the vibration, because as you said it also, Robin, that the way it's been told very often is as if you just need a new battery, and so your vibration is a little bit higher. Um, um, when you are in stillness, and not only in silence but in stillness, the picture I see right now, you are in a forest and you're sitting on a fallen tree trunk, and you breathe a little bit deeper in and out. You already have hired your vibration, because at that moment your vibration starts to connect with the vibration of Mother Earth. That is what hiring your vibration means. What we do the whole day by being in our brain and being stressed out because we have to do that and that and that and that, and that neighbor started to complaining, and you are pissed off about that person. That all is lowering your vibration. Hiring vibration is being in stillness. And also, you can put love in that stillness. It goes even higher up. Happy thoughts, joyful, enjoying. When you're still sitting on that tree trunk and you are in silence and or in stillness, and you feel that connection, feel what that does with your body. That is hiring your vibration. Then it's going up and making your vibration higher is not by doing. And many people who are putting on social media things about that, it's as if it's doing something. No, it's being. It is being love. It is being silent. It is being in stillness. It is being one with Pachamama, Mother Earth. It's being one with the air that's surrounding you. That all is hiring your vibration. That's all is that makes that you are so close connected with Mother Earth that she can speak through you. And so um, um, life or the way we see or I see life as in a wholeness with body, mind, soul, spirit, everything is all about connection from that inner silence, that inner stillness with the outside, and nothing in that outside stillness is against you. Everything is there to help you, hiring, to make your vibration higher, to find your inner truth, to find your soul purpose, to find your special soul companion. What probably there is for you in your life it, that comes out of the stillness, that doesn't come out of doing exercise of or reading a book, or everything lives inside, and whatever you want in this life, it lives there. And when we are on the road already about complaining on what is said on social media, um,
We could do a whole podcast on that.
we can do a whole podcast about that. There are so many people who try to sell you things that you have to do, 4 ways to blah, 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 blah. Or everything what you want to be, everything you are, everything what is here in life for you lives at the inside. And what I understand, that for many people, life is hectic. There is happening so much, and they hope they do 3 exercises and then they know that, and then their life becomes better. That's not the way it is. What you want to change, you have to change yourself. There is nothing outside of you who can bring you closer to you, who can bring you even so far as to God. And now I'm knowing that I'm saying that that some people will not agree with me. There is no rabbi, there is no pastor, there is no pope, there is no, don't know all those names who can bring you to God or
Right.
the higher, however you want to call it. That's only one person, and that's you. You can get help from techniques that people can show you how they did it, but from all the techniques I've got in my life from other people, perhaps only 2 or 3 were helpful for me. And all those others were probably for other people, but not for me. So you have to be very conscious about it, but also selective, that you only choose what's yours and not what's not yours. And you know what is yours because that lives in your silence, that lives in those inner spaces. Robin.
I love that you just said that you have to be selective, because that's what I was thinking too, as you were saying of learning techniques. It is very important to maybe look at other people, how they had their journey or what happened to them, especially if it's something that feels similar to what you're doing, but with the understanding that it's not you, and that there's only going to be part of that that applies to you. Like I personally, Clementine, I don't think I have ever implemented a technique exactly the way somebody handed it to me. Like I'll try it. I'll try it exactly the way they just like when I cook. I use the recipe the first time, and then it's never that way again. It's just that recipe, that first recipe is, well, that's how everybody else likes it. It's a good place to start. Let's see how that works for me. And I always add different spices, and I always change recipes. And that's the same. If somebody hands me a technique or method of doing something, I'll take it whole the way they hand it to me, but I don't take it in me wholeheartedly, because I've never found anything that works for somebody else to work for me exactly the way they give it to me. I always have to tweak it a little bit. And I feel that's really important. So it's great to get expert input, but not to take it wholeheartedly as if there's only that one answer and that one way to do it, and that's it. And then you get into the right way and wrong way, which there's not, right? So I like selective, both in what you're listening to and who that expert might be, but also how much of it that you decide to take in, and how you please make it your own. Don't leave it at somebody else's level in your inner world, because that's throwing off your authentic expression. You want it to be yours. That's the thing. So take it to your inner world and see how it may or may not, and let go of what doesn't work for you and keep what does work for you. And then the other thing I also wanted to add is some people are still I have all those thoughts running through and I can't get past that. And I've been meditating for weeks and still can't get past. All I'm doing is having thoughts. Write them down. Get a journal and just write it down. Then they're out. They're gone. You've done something, so you're happy because you're doing. And then that creates that space you can open up, and you'll find the stillness in there, right? So I find what is super powerful, why I like journaling, isn't what's happening up here. It's what's not happening up here. Because as you write cursive, I'd like you to write cursive is important. As you're writing cursive, you're crisscrossing your left and right hemispheres all the time. And there's all these other physiological, alchemical things happening in the brain when we write cursively that literally just moves our thoughts to the background, and we're not having. It's the same kind of thing when you're petting your cat or your dog, when you're petting your animal and you're just in that space, and you're just loving on it, and just all of a sudden your mind is completely you're just right there, giving and receiving. And that's the same thing. You get to that same space when you're doing cursive writing. It's just that perfect balance of all the elements in the hemispheres. So I highly recommend that if you're still all hung up on, there's too many thoughts running through my head and I can't let them go and I don't know how to still it, then write them down, because this part of part of why they're all in there is some of those thoughts, maybe jealous, envy, lower energy thoughts that we didn't want to face. And so they're still in there floating around, affecting things that are manifesting in your reality. And so you write it down. And when you do, you can go back and look at all those thoughts, cross out the ones that don't work for you anymore. And then the next time you come back, you'll journal, you'll notice those aren't there. So just kind of consider yourself an expert too. Yeah.
And by journaling, what I also what I use it also for is sometimes I feel that there is something going on, but I cannot. I don't know exactly what is going on. Then I literally start journaling what I just said. There is something with me and I have no clue what's going on. And what do I feel? Does it feel like, breathing is difficult? It feels tight. Where does I really write everything down, and not even 5 minutes further, then answers are already coming, because
Yes.
I'm start focusing on what's going on. I'm start focusing in how I'm feeling and where do I feel it? Is it around my heart or my diaphragm, or is it my neck? Is it my shoulders? So my brain stops working in that sense, because I'm focused on what I'm feeling and why, and then I know in 5 minutes what's going on with me. And then um, um, then I found, after then, what's going on with me, I find a kind of stillness where I can sit with it, what it has to say for me. And even when that's difficult at that time, I'm gonna write that down also. It's difficult for me to sit now with it, and during the writing, I get the answers. The answers are just coming, and for instance, I'm writing, oh, this has probably to do with this and that, and then I feel, no, that's not true. I'm writing down, no, that's not true. And so the whole process, what otherwise would be in your brain, you write it out, and therefore you find your answers. But when you are only in your brain, you are just making circles in your brain. You're thinking the same thoughts all the time. And when you write it down, then you go further. Then you come out of that loop, and you find solutions. And
That's this. I love how you say, I'm sorry,
yeah,
and how you say you don't get the answers immediately. And even sometimes you do get the answers, but you don't understand that you got the answers when you come back and look at it and you go, oh, I get it. Yeah. And so just follow the process write it down with a focus of, if you're going to write a thought down, please write a feeling that goes with it. What do you feel when that thought happens? Where and what are you feeling? We are so focused on thoughts. We seriously, all of the shift that's happening right now is because we are supposed to be, and I don't usually say it that way, but we are supposed to be focused or focusing on feeling, our feeling nature, not our thinking nature. So please, this journal, if you're going to write thoughts, write a feeling that goes with it. When you have that thought, what do you feel? Where do you feel it? And then later you can go back and go through that journal and you'll notice patterns. You'll notice patterns. And then you'll go, oh, my right shoulder is, oh, I know what that means. And you'll go and search and oh, yeah, I need to stop doing that. Yeah. And I love this part, the inner, the outer, the outer, the inner, and where they cross over, and where you can, once you recognize your stillness, and that's too a perfect example, Clementine, of what you're saying. When I sat down to download for this podcast, I sat and I was like, okay, the quality of the silence. And I knew exactly what that meant here. I'm like, oh, I could describe that with a bunch of words. You know, it's like, why am I downloading? I don't have to download for this. It's what I do, right? But that would be all up here, right? So I sat and I was like, well, what am I going to say? What am I to, like, what's the point of this, right? And nothing was coming. Nothing was coming. Nothing was coming. So what I did, I picked up my clipboard, I picked up my pen, and I just wrote down too many thoughts. And then the next word that came was stillness. And I was like, oh, that's where what I was feeling that I wanted to describe was the stillness, not the silence. But until I picked up my pen and wrote too many thoughts, nothing else came through. It's just I had to move that out of the way. But the physical act of picking up my pen freed that all up. It was really, really cool. I was like, well, I'm there. Yeah. So, really focus on the feeling part, because like Clementine says, that physical motion and that feeling of the pen moving across my paper, that just moved everything out of the way, just opened up all of the subconscious, came out, which that's where our connection, our inner world, that's our subconscious. And we open it and we bring that to the surface. And that's through feeling. Feel. And when if you stop right now, like you're listening to us, but if I tell you, okay, tell me in your body where you're feeling the word happy, everybody's going to go in and search their body. There's not a thought happening. You're searching. You're an open vessel, searching, receiving information. And that's where you want to be when you're journaling. So feel. Every time you write a thought down, ask your body where you're feeling it, what feeling you're having, and where it is. Yeah.
When we're talking like this, I hear also many people reacting, yeah, that's nice when you have time for it. Don't say that to me because I'm the wrong person. Because this thing, throw it away. Yes, I want to show it clear. This old is mine. That's so important, how important it is. You can be cold, and I'm not saying that
Is it a flip phone? Not quite.
Not, yeah, but the newer ones are flip phones again. So.
Oh, I forgot.
they are new again, but
forgot.
Okay, I'm gonna say it in the way I feel it. I have never heard so much bullshit that you don't have time. You have big time. And yes, there are many parents from young children who have bring their children in that playground and that sport, but you are on your way to that. You can use it in stillness. You have to wait for your children. Stillness time. There are so many possibilities, but what many people do is a mirror that falls on the ground is using at those times their phone. And then they
Right.
are complaining that they have no time. It is complete bullshit. In I am old enough to know how many hours we worked and how many hours my parents worked, and how many hours people in these times worked. That is way less hours that you are working right now. A full week work is way less hours. I have worked 80 to 100 hours a week for many years. That is busy, but I still had time to find my silence. Now you can talk. It's just
Yeah.
bullshit.
I'm with you. I'm like, if it's important to you, you make it happen. I was a single mom for 200 years. You have to find 5 minutes for yourself every day. And my kids knew what it meant when I said, I am going to my room. I'm taking a 10-minute timeout. Do not knock on my door. Do not make me come out. And that was my time, and everybody got to live through it. So I get the busy schedule. I get what work expects from you now. I get it. I'm still in it all too. Are you your priority or are you not? That's what it comes down to.
Yes, exactly.
So don't give me any wishy-washy excuses. Either you're worth it or you're not. And you make it happen or you don't. And that's on you. And every single person on this planet can give me the same wow story. We've all got one. Do you want to make it work or do you don't? I like that one. Do you don't?
It's not only it's not only the time excuse. Every excuse for you, what you are using not to do it, is for you to look at. It's for you to run
Make a journal page. What are my excuses?
Yes.
Address those. Yeah.
And why? Why are
Why?
you using that excuse? What does that excuse bring you?
And what does that feel like in your body? Because those excuses and they're blockages. They're going to show in your body as a blockage, right? So,
Yes.
Yep. Finish that loop.
So from now on, you cannot come with any excuse.
No excuses.
Puppy train yourself.
I like that. We're going to have to get a t-shirt for puppy training. We'll make a puppy training
puppy
t-shirt.
Trained.
I am puppy training me.
Okay. In a short time, we are also in the t-shirt business, or you can buy them with a link. No, that's a joke. That's not now. Perhaps later,
not
but
yet.
not now. Not yet. It sounds like
are we done?
are at the end of our podcast.
I think we are done.
We are
We're getting silly now. Time to go.
Time to go and do our silliness not on camera. Have a nice week. Thank you for listening till the end and see you next week. Bye.